From Detroit to south of the border, what bailed out Chrysler just did that may drive taxpayers loco. U.S. taxpayers bailed them out. Now Chrysler is spending $1.2 billion to expand and create jobs in, get this, Mexico. Now, ironically, the car maker still owes U.S. taxpayers $1.3 billion. And Gary B., you say, told you so.
Exactly, Brenda. I think anyone watching this would be outraged, but not outraged at Chrysler. Look, Chrysler did what any good corporate entity should do. They saw a sweetheart deal. They took it. They ran with it. They're going to enhance their own hand. The outrage should be directed at the government. Once again, Brenda. We sat here years ago and said the government should not bail out private companies. They shouldn't bail out GM. They shouldn't give money to Chrysler. They shouldn't give money to any of these companies that they did. They did it. They crowed about it, and now the chickens are coming home to roost.
Well, Sasha, shouldn't Chrysler be using the money that it's sending to Mexico, essentially, and paying us back?
You know, when I first read this, I absolutely agreed, Brenda, and I still don't like it. You know, the bailout it's the worst thing that could happen except all the other alternatives, right? But the reality is Chrysler LLC has paid everything back. The $1.3 billion is about the old company that's left over after they declared bankruptcy. It's not the current one that's mostly owned by Fiat. This is globalization. You know, they have created jobs in the U.S. They've put billions into the U.S., but they also make parts in other countries. Toyota makes some here. I mean, it's just reality. We might not like it, but it is.
Larry, do you like it?
I don't like it at all. Look, I'm ashamed, not because I own one Chrysler car, but I own two Chrysler cars. Look, one of which is a minivan. Perhaps I should trade it in and buy a Toyota that's made in Indiana because I'll be doing more to help the U.S. economy. Look, the UAW still owns 40% of this. So for all you UAW workers, you're effectively outsourcing your own jobs to Mexico right now. And the Chrysler slogan was imported from Detroit. They're going to have to change that, obviously, to imported from Mexico going forward.
John, do you have any trouble with this?
No, I don't. I'm like Gary B. I have a problem with what the government did. Remember, the government gave a lot of money to lithium battery makers to put those facilities in the United States. They moved those to China. I had a real problem with that because they didn't enforce that. What the government did here is lose $1.3 billion in a stock buyback or stop sell to Chrysler. They can take their plants wherever they want. This is globalization. What everybody's saying about free markets is right. Whether you like them taking their jobs to Mexico or not, if that's the way this company runs best, that's what they should do.
Well, what should they be doing, Jonas? What do you think?
Well, you know, there was a big fear when the government gave all this money out to these losers that they were going to have this hot phone and be like, your new cars have to be powered by liquid tofu. And obviously that didn't happen because they didn't put a plant in D.C. where all the politicians are for jobs. So they're operating independently. Yeah, we lost 10% of our money. You know, that isn't as good as the bank bailout when we made money, but I got to say, for the government to lose only 10% of their money on any deal, that's a win as far as taxpayers are concerned. So
That's our bar
they're
now?
operating independently. Let's let it go.
Okay, last word to Larry.
You know, perhaps we could have used those 6,500 jobs that were sent to Mexico in Detroit. After all, Chrysler made a commitment after Detroit's bankruptcy to invest and to hire, and that's something that they're clearly not doing in this case.
Okay, last word. You keep that minivan, huh, Larry? All right. Thanks,
I'm ashamed at a lot of levels about that minivan.
Okay, and thank you, Sasha, for joining us. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Brenda.
it.